Right now, you may have heard, there was the Hanover Fair in Hanover, of course, which is the biggest industrial show of the world, and there is a new buzzword called Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0, and it's called the fourth industrial revolution. And I think that's quite interesting also for India. I had to look it up. The first industrial revolution was when steam engines and that type of power replaced the manual power. That was in the 18th century, towards the end of the 18th century. That was the first industrial revolution. Second was when Henry Ford, who made the famous T model and his cars, introduced the conveyor belts for manufacturing. That means people, boom, 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 had to do the same type of work on a conveyor belt every few minutes or whatsoever, called the second. The next industrial revolution, when robots, you may have seen photos, like when a car is made today, there are these robots with handling capacities who take a piece of material here, put it there, another robot comes, does some welding, and puts something together. And now they talk of the fourth industrial revolution. That means that in a factory, the whole system is so integrated through the internet that a piece which has to be made sends out a signal, and somewhere there is a machine which knows, this piece needs a machining, maybe a turning process. I am free, come here. Right now it's different. Right now there is a central planning system which says there is a batch of items waiting for a certain machine, and once that machine is free, 100 of these things are made. And this Industry 4.0, which is highly then integrated with IT, wants to solve the problem that even a short series or a small series can be made, and the capacities utilized to the optimum. I mean, I will probably not have to deal with that, but I can assure you this production engineering is extremely interesting. In that context, I don't know whether you are aware, Germany in the past has not been really a country for immigration in the past, but that has changed. 10 years ago, it was almost, it was very difficult for an engineer or engineer to get a work permit. That is a lot easier now. There is this initiative, MINT, M-I-N-T. M-I-N-T stands for mathematicians, or mathematics, information, natural science, and technology. That means people who have a background in that field are welcome. The restrictions are almost gone, and for a certain, if somebody finds a job with this qualification for a comparatively low monthly, annual income, I think of 35,000 euro or so, he will get a permanent work permit. There's also some information in that pavilion over there, because Germany as a manufacturing hub of the world is afraid that there may not be enough young or not enough engineers to run all these manufacturing facilities. This has substantially changed. Of course, we also need, Germany also needs skilled workmen on a lower level. But I don't think that applies to anybody here, and this is a lot more difficult topic to solve than engineers. Because those people who typically work on the shop floor are more difficult to transfer to another country. There are more language barriers, there are more socializing aspects. It's definitely more difficult. Okay, to last but not least, skills for management level, they are not really different from what you need in India. Indians are basically good managers. First, they are often very well, have a good background. Like in finance, in finance, chartered accountants have an excellent background. They are used to working hard. Sometimes they are, I would say, overworked, or they know every section of some whatsoever code. We usually say Indians are good managers because they are used to work in the chaos. Yeah, they are used to work around rules. I wouldn't say bend rules, but to work around rules to get along with an erratic administration sometimes. And at the end of the day, problems are solved. I mean, managers are basically problem solvers. Yeah, they are not paid for supervising a smooth process. They are paid for and required for solving problems. And this is what Indian managers basically can do. They are used to they are flexible, and they are used to sometimes even contradicting rules. Of course, otherwise the requirements are not so different from what you have here. So if anybody is interested in that field, opportunities are there.